Hi, it's Elene Marsden, and this is January 2013. This time last year, I was taking part in a competition to find the best loved business in town, and there were 6 steps that I took to become successful, and I'd really like to share those with you today. So let's just take a look at the steps that I took. First of all, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the competition that was run by the Best Of company that has franchisees up and down the country in the UK. And every year they run a competition called the 14 Days of Love Valentine competition to see which company is voted by the people as the best loved business. And to vote, all you had to do was to send in a written testimonial for why you think that business is best loved. And at the end of the competition, which normally lasts for 3 weeks, they count up the number of testimonials, and the person who's got the most is the winner. So I decided I really wanted to win this competition as soon as I heard about it. You know, I even visualised going to the Valentine's ball where the winner would be announced and where the prize would be handed out. I even told other people I was going to win. Rather foolish, you might say. But step 1 in this whole process for me was to set my intent. I knew what I wanted and I was on a mission to get that. Step 2, in fact, was for me to create a promotional video to get votes. I spent a morning sorting out images and video clips and testimonials from my clients, and I put all this together and went to a website called Fiverr.com where you can get people to create just about anything you want, really, for $5. So within 24 hours, I had a really rather splendid video that I was able to use. So the second step is promote yourself differently. I decided a video was going to be something different. I was really pleased. And you can see this video on my YouTube channel, Elene Marsden. Go and have a look if you're interested. And the third step was for me to use 3 emails using ACT marketing, which I was going to send out to my ACT customers, but also people, not customers, but prospects, but people who actually engage in my email marketing campaigns, because I've got lots of reports that I can use to show those people who open and who click on links. So those are the people I was targeting. So, step 3, send targeted messages with a strong call to action. And later on, I'll be actually showing you these emails and showing you the actual call to actions that I used. So, step 4, as the competition intensified, I decided I was going to go out and do some local networking in groups such as Chamber of Commerce, my local BNI chapter, and I was just going to go out there and ask people for support. But I needed to make an impression, and I bought a pair of sparkly red ruby slippers, and I wore those, and they were a great talking point, so people wanted to know something about those shoes, and so I told them that they were part of my marketing to become the best loved business. And, you know, these shoes definitely made a difference, and that they've got a very special place in my office, and you'll see a picture of those later on. So step 4 is be memorable. Step 5, I actually had to ask people for votes. It didn't always feel comfortable doing this because sometimes I can be a bit shy and retiring, but I was on this mission and I had to suspend all fear. So I just asked people. Step 5, ask for what you want and be very clear about it. And you'd be surprised, people will just turn around and help you. Step 6, as the competition was intensifying, I used social media to help people to vote for me. I told them about the competition, told them how many votes I had, and it was very close towards the end. So social media channels really were helpful, Facebook, Twitter particularly. So those were the 6 steps. Now let's go into a little bit more detail, and I can show you some of the email campaigns that I actually used, and you can look at some of the text to see exactly what I sent out. So I used ACT e-marketing, but this method would work equally well with other providers like MailChimp, Constant Contact, for example. So first of all, I had 2 groups in my database. I created a group of my customers. I also added to that group people that opened emails in the past and were engaged with me in some ways. So I didn't just send it out to everyone in my database. These were interested people, if you like. So I had that group in ACT, and I also created a new group called my voters group, because I wanted to know who had actually voted for me, because those people who'd already written a testimonial and uploaded it to the Best Of site, I didn't want them to get emails, so I took those out of the regular email campaigns and just put those into the special voters group. So at the very end, I could send them an email to thank them. So those are the groups. And this is just a screenshot of my ACT database. You can see there that I added a new field called vote. And if somebody had voted for me, there was a Y for yes showing in that field. And that was really useful for me to put people into the voters group so that I could treat them in a different way. Now let's take a look behind the scenes of my email marketing service. It's called ACT e-marketing. They're all very similar though, so if you're using MailChimp, you'll get similar reports like these, where you can see the number of emails that were sent out, the number of people that open your messages. Now this email was used right at the beginning of the year to identify who were my engaged readers, and I had a 27% open rate, and these are the people, those that had clicked on links that I put into the Vote Better Act Now campaigns. So let's go and have a look at another report. Here you can see quite a good open rate, 31%. Industry standard, by the way, is about 28% for open rates for emails. And what I normally find is within the first day, most of the flurry of activity, openings, takes place then. It tails off after that. And let's just go and have a look at another report. Here you can see I had an actual 66% open rate for this email that was sent out to my customers, and actually the subject line, I think, has a big factor in this high open rate. Bit cheeky, I know. Help me find more lovers. People opened that and they were interested. They wanted to know what it was all about. So let's take a look at another report. Here you can see this was sent out on the final, or the day before the final day of voting, and again this was very high. People were interested, they wanted to know, how I was doing, and so there's 45% there open rate, very good. And here you can see this was sent out on the actual final day to everybody. Particularly those that hadn't voted. I'd pulled out all the people who'd already voted, because I said to you before I didn't want to keep sending the same thing to them. They were treated differently. And finally, here on the day when the results were out, I let everyone know that we'd won. It was thanks to you, and that was a fantastic open rate of 44.6%. We'll go and have a look at the templates next, because I'm sure you're going to be very interested in, the kind of messages that I sent out to my contacts. So obviously they're template messages, they use merge fields, so they're all personalised. I tell people why I was getting in touch with them, said it was about a competition, and I told them I really wanted to win, told them what the closing date was, told them all they had to do was, I love Corazon betterACTnow because, and they could either reply back to me, or there was a link to go to the website where they could register their votes. And I was also showing them the current scores. Now you can't see that because that's at the bottom of the email. There wasn't enough space there, but they could see just where I was in the scores, if you like, at that particular time in the competition. So let's go on. So with 4 days to go, You can see there, I was telling them, thank you, appreciate your support. We were currently in 3rd place with just 4 days to go. And so I was really trying to make sure anyone that was not sure about it should really get on there and vote. There was a little link at the bottom of that message to go and watch that promo video that I was telling you about. And lots of people clicked on that and watched that. And then you can see there's my last chance to vote template that went out on the final day of voting. I think at that stage we were in number 1 position, but there was a lot of competition from 2 hairdressers in the town where they'd got lots and lots of customers, they had premises, lots of footfall, and I was really concerned that they were going to, at the very last minute, get a final push on votes. So this final email was really important to go out. So what happened next? Well, I had to wait for all the votes to be collected and counted up. But the very next day, I got a call from Kevin Barber from the Best of Ipswich to say that I'd been voted the best loved business in town. So I sent a thank you email to all of those contacts. I shared with them a picture of me receiving flowers and a plaque. And also in that email, I described those 6 steps that I was talking about earlier. So competitions are a great thing to take part in. I mean, the result of me taking part in this competition was that I got over 150 fantastic testimonials. So to sum up some of the things that you should be thinking about if you're planning email campaigns, there are these 3 things. Have great subject lines, because that can make a big difference. Also have very clear calls to actions in your email. So if you want people to click on a link, say that. I wanted people to vote for me, so I asked for their votes. Also use strong images, because this will engage your audience. I found that the emails that get opened the most are those that have got really interesting, engaging images. So finally, talking about images, these are those killer shoes that I bought from Shoe. And in fact, they are now in pride of place in my office on my shelf. And there you can see them. Fantastic. Great shoes. So finally, I'm just going to say I appreciate your time today and listening to this. And I'd like to offer you a free video on how to do email marketing. Now, this video is part of my video series that costs £97 or $150 on my betterACTnow website, and I'm giving this away for free. All you have to do is fill out your name and email, and I'll send you a link so that you can download this 20-minute how-to video. Thanks very much again. Bye for now. That's Elene from betterACTnow.